Recently, myself and my colleagues have been doing some research on how people feel about being provided services from offshore. And there are a myriad of services that are now being provided from offshore. There's tutoring lessons, there's financial support, there's accounting, there's even taxes that are being done offshore. Surprisingly, even x-rays are being read overseas. Recently, we had a circumstance where we had to take a family member to the hospital. You know, the individual had a little bit of head trauma. They get a scan, a CT scan, and it comes back. The doctor, the emergency room doctor, says everything's fine. I said, thank you, thank you. I thank the doctor, we thank the nurses, and we say, can we talk to the doctor that read the x-rays? The attending room physician had no idea where the doctor was located that read the x-rays. Didn't know if they were down the street, across the country, or on the other side of the world. All the attending physician did was read the report that came over the computer, stating that the doctor who read the x-rays said it was an all clear, no major problems and everything with the patient, everything's good. Some people are really objecting to this practice. Others will sit there and say, hey, this is perfectly acceptable because we are looking for the best person at the best possible price, and it means a price or a cost reduction to me when I buy the products. Other people are a little bit more, their sentiment is like, no, 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 keep the domestic jobs domestically. So I think this is really a personal thing for people, and the research that my colleagues and I have been doing is trying to understand what are the factors that lead to people feeling the way they do about services being offshored. We did a series of surveys, and we developed a scale, a series of questions that ascertain how people feel about this. And basically what it came down to is some people object for various reasons. They may be concerned about the data security of something being sent overseas. Might be concerns about communication capabilities, being able to understand someone with a different accent. And I want to say different accent, not necessarily overseas, because there have been recorded cases where people have reached somebody within the United States. And I had a student several years ago, based here, he's from Brooklyn. He was working a call center called the Midwest of the United States, and a person was saying, you're overseas, you have an accent. What we did find is that people will show less of a commitment or loyalty to a firm as a result of this, or they may badmouth a firm because they're sitting there saying, look, this company is sending jobs overseas, or this company is not trying to hire Americans, so we shouldn't do business with them. So companies can actually face a decrease in consumer loyalty, customer loyalty, as a result of the practice. And they need to do a better job of managing how they offshore their services in order to keep their customer base happy. Several years ago, I had a student who was interested in a similar topic to this. And I worked with the student. The student did an independent study with me for honors and was able to graduate with high honors on his diploma, where he had done, do consumers look at the country that the service is coming from? Do they have a pecking order or a preference? For instance, they preferred having someone sitting in Canada providing them the service as opposed to other countries out there. They just felt like, oh, well, Canada is, we know so much about them. It's so much easier to deal with them. And it seemed to be that people in their mind have a perception of which countries are better to work with when it comes to having some services provided to them. And my colleague and I, Dr. Boonghee Yoo, also in the department with me, we had an article just published in the Journal of the Academy of Marketing Science. It's a top-ranked marketing journal. I believe a lot of people consider it the 4th or 5th best marketing journal there is. And what's taken place is we see this as making a contribution not only to the study of marketing, but it has a lot of practical application. And we would really like to see companies looking at this type of research that's being done by ourselves as academics and say, okay, what is the practical application of this? What does this mean to us in building better relations with our customers? Our faculty are focused on the students. When we do some type of research like this, we a lot of times bring it in and talk to our students about it. And we share it with them, and they really benefit from it. And I'll be honest with you, I benefit, my colleagues and I benefit from it. We're active in sharing what we do with our students. And our students are active in giving their opinion back to us, which is kind of like a self-reinforcing.